What's up everyone, it's Jambor's new video, and in this video I'll be talking about Open Gate. Yes, about this feature, and I will tell you why extremely valuable this feature is to have it in your camera, to have it anywhere. Like, I don't know where actually else you can have it, on the phone I think nowadays also. Why it's valuable, why it makes sense to have it, and why it's not just like this side dish feature you might not need. But if you're a professional, this is a feature I would say it's almost must have nowadays, because this is one of the features why you can do more of things at the same time, and not just this. And in this video I will describe you what and in what situation OpenGate is extremely valuable, especially when you're doing a professional work. And I just actually I will be talking from practice, because I'm using this feature especially for the professional work, because this video is shot normally 16:9, no open gate, normally like white screen. How somebody would say it should be, because it depends on the composition, but it's not just about that. And this is this video about. Let's talk. So let me give you 5 examples where OpenGate excels and where OpenGate is a feature which saves you a lot. For example, when you have no control, or where you have minimal control, where you basically cannot be a director of the situation 100%. When you're a one-man army, when you have a, for example, model, and this model, the discipline is not, let's say, crazily great. Or what happened to me when I was, for example, working on the clip for Marks and Spencer for vertical platform. They need a vertical video for their reels and for their Instagram and TikTok. And the thing is that big and very important part of the scene was must have to be done on a balcony where fit only the subject, which was the actor, which wasn't a proper actor, which was an ambassador of UK in Czech Republic, who's not an actor by profession. And then the other thing what could belong there, it's the tripod with the camera itself, not me being possible in control of the ambassador himself where exactly to move. And because we had lack of time and we needed to do it precisely, OpenGate was a perfect choice, because I could put 24mm. It gives me a wide range of options, very high profile of the picture in 3 to 2 open gate format, 6K, and then him. And I didn't really care if he's a little bit more of the edge of the center or not. When I would be composing normally vertically, that means I would switch the camera, I will turn the camera on the side. I wouldn't be able to be sure that this shot will be perfect, and I would need to do with him much more shots than I actually would necessarily need to do. When I have it in OpenGate, it saved me a lot of time. I had only 2 hours, less than 2 hours, to make this whole clip, and just to spend half an hour, 45 minutes, or an hour for one shot, I would lose an ambassador, because their schedule is very tight. So this is where it comes in comfort. Also, when you don't know your subject could do things, you have much more space in OpenGate and you have much more freedom. And of course, somebody said, but you can compose it, you can play with it. Sometimes you cannot. Sometimes you are one-man army or two-man army. You need to do more things, and you need to be simply very, very efficient. And efficiency is something what costs money, and something what OpenGate helps you to achieve. Be extremely efficient. The other thing where you really need it is when your clients needs more outcomes from the shooting you're doing, and instead of you recreating all the other formats and elements by recreating angles of your camera, shooting the same thing again and again and again for different various formats, you can shoot it in one simple shot in OpenGate. Of course, you still need to frame it. You need to be able to composition for this. For example, Lumix has those leading lines. I will show you actually, which you can for sure adjust. You can play with it. You can do whatever with it, but it helps you to compose things properly. Of course, you can tell, but you can do it in 4K, normal 16:9. Then you go like this, and you have 16:9. Yes, but first of all, you're losing quality. Second of all, not on everywhere it is, but this losing quality is important, because OpenGate gives you, first of all, more space. Second of all, you can really go on the image like a slide, which can really help you to compose better in post-production. even though if you do perfectly in not post-production. Also, it gives you much more space where you need it, and also it gives you the quality of resolution, because the difference between classical 4K, and doesn't matter if it's downsampled from some other resolution, it's still 4K format. If you shoot OpenGate, for example, 6K, or if I shoot on Lumix S1R2 OpenGate 7.1 or 7.2, well, I have 4K resolution full even if I cut it this way, which never happens if you just cut this from the 4K. This is simply not how it really works. And also, you don't need to really reshape anything because you're already shooting this way, which saves you time, saves you quality, and you can do your things extremely properly. Third thing is extremely operational. As I told you, you can be much more flexible with OpenGate, especially when you're doing social media by it. And maybe it sounds weird, but it works simply in the fact when you're doing things like a concert, what I recently did, and the client asked me, please shoot also a video, can you do a video out of it for my social media? And yes, I could choose to do it the way of vertical, and I would need to really focus where she goes and not to go and so on. But imagine the situation was like that. I was having one camera in my head, the other one in my other hand, and one was photographing, one was shooting the video. But the open gate saved me because I knew if I'm pointing it right, I have a good composition, means a good distance from the character I want to shoot. Regardless where this person will go, I will always have this person in my camera recorded. And then of course in post-production it's a little bit more work, but I have the shot and I can do two things at the same time, which of course I don't recommend, but sometimes this is a difference between saying yes or no to the job, which I need. So, this is again extremely important tool for you, because you will have it. You will not screw it up. Second thing, when this is very important in the same example, is that it gives you much more space which you can work with in social media. Imagine you're shooting a band, you want the guitarist, you want the main protagonist, like main artist, and you want the drummer in the shot, and you can basically from one shot you can have them all. You will just cut them off, depends on your composition, and you will use it as 3 different clips. You can think about it in many other ways, but the flexibility is there and you're not losing quality. If you're shooting vertically, you would need to go from one character to the other, but you will lose the whole plot. And I'm not telling this is a wrong choice, I'm just telling that such a choice is a different one. This gives you flexibility. Maybe it's a little bit lazy approach, but because of OpenGate you're not really losing image quality, there is no reason why not to shoot in it, and then therefore why not to have it. Again, you're efficient, you save cost, you save time to yourself, but also you save time to your client, and you can just simply be again much more efficient, one shot more things. The fourth thing is of course the depth of field. Lots of arguments of people who are not using OpenGate, maybe never used it, or they don't understand commercial principles of it or the real strength of it, is that you can do more things at the same time. Last we were talking about it. The thing is that they say, but you can proper compose the shots and so on. But if you need to, for example, take camera a little bit back, you're losing your depth of field. What is this? This is something you want. You don't compromise anything you want with OpenGate. This is the extremely important feature, because the people who are using this argument of recomposition don't really understand the strength of it. Because imagine I'm now shooting 4K, but okay, I would choose OpenGate, yes? I will be that close, that means everything behind me will be blurred because I'm shooting in 1.8. But if I recompose, I would need to be, for example, here for the same kind of a, let's say, social media shot, or the other shot, whatever I would choose from, and I'm losing this depth of field because of course it's changing, depends on how far or close I am. And this is something you don't want to lose. You want to play with it, and this flexibility, it's important to have. And to be really honest, I think we are really trying to apologize, but flexibility is the most important thing in our case scenarios. If you are a commercial photographer, if you're a commercial photo shooter, run and gun person, I meant videographer, and if you just mean this work properly. Of course, you don't need to shoot in controlled environments, you don't need to use it, but it's a great thing to have. It's a great tool. But there is fifth thing why this is important, and there's time. And of course, I was mentioning it across all of those things, but I think this one is extremely important because it's connected to them and saving time and costs and your nerves and all of it together. It's a worthy thing to have with OpenGate. And again, I'm not saying this is a needed feature, but to save time, it's a perfect thing to do. And again, imagine I wouldn't do those videos like that. I maybe wouldn't have them, but I knew that if I will show OpenGate, I don't need to stress too much with directing that person extremely, making that person nervous. I needed this person for another photo shooting, another video shooting. I need this person to be cool. I need the client to be cool. And this smoothness of me working, switching from video to photo, from video to photo, doing specific type of things for, to deliver all what I need, but also make everybody calm, everybody happy, everybody fast paced, not making them nervous, stress if they need to move exactly this way or that way, don't do this, don't do that, which is perfect. And you don't need to stress with it if you work with professionals. But if you work with people who are, for example, learning something, the person in front of you is not a perfect in their craft and or in some specific things, for example, for being able to give me things what I need in the way of video shooting, then you again save time. You don't need to, if you put more stress on that person, you won't help yourself, you won't help that person, and you won't help the project. And the most important part of those things is to make people work better and less stressful, because most people crack under stress. They will give you worse results after all. And then this situation also probably won't give you another job if you will be stressing everybody. If everybody's happy on the set and then you also deliver good results, then your probability that you will receive another job and they will recommend you is also higher. And OpenGate and time saving, and this time saving on other things you would need to focus if you don't have it, it's priceless. Yes, the time is important. But I hope you got it. I hope you didn't take it as some kind of a rant. I just want to tell you that the practical use case of OpenGate is not just, it's just a funny feature, the side dish, something you don't need to do because you can live without it. Yes, you can live without it. But trust me, when you try it work-wise, you don't want to live without it. And that's make a big difference, because in my opinion, OpenGate is one of the killer features of the cameras which have them. And every professional, in my opinion, who tried it once and needs to do more deliverables, they really understands its value and really understands its necessity. Basically, once you try, you don't want to go back. But this is something some companies don't believe it's important, and that's fine. This is up to you if it's important or not. Write it in the comments below, and see you next time. Thank you for watching.